Asked, why did you invest time and energy in developing programs for premarital couples? And it really started as a research project about 30 years ago. And at the time, there were community centers and actually some hospitals that were running large programs for premarital couples. Often these community centers would bring together a group of like 50 couples and offer them a 6 or 8 week program where they got lectures about important areas in their relationship, like communication, conflict, finances, and they had very good speakers. And these people said, now we want to see how useful these programs are. What kind of impact do these programs really have? So we did a study, and it was a very large and systematic study. And what was surprising to us is when we looked at the results in terms of information gain, attitude change, and behavior change, there was none. Even though the people said, we really liked the program, it was entertaining, it was fun, but the bottom line was, it didn't apply to us. And we said, you know what, I went and heard many of the lectures, and they were very good and very informative. And so I was trying to figure out, well, why didn't they feel it applied to them? And what can we do? When we presented the results to these about 100 professionals who had offered these courses over several years, there were lawyers, counselors, professors, finance people. They were very curious how useful these programs were, and when we had to say it produced no significant change, they said, well, what do we do? And I said, I don't know. That wasn't the purpose of the study. But what we did then start thinking about is what could be done differently. And one of the clues we got is when we had couples taking the couple assessment, and they were sitting next to each other, filling it out, they were continually looking at how did their partner answer these questions? And in fact, we'd have to go and tell them, you know, don't talk about it until you've finished. And from that, we learned that, in fact, in many ways, they were curious about their partner and how their partner was answering the questions. And they wanted to have feedback. In fact, we asked them, how many of you would like to have feedback about how you did as a couple? 97% said they wanted to come and get feedback. So that was a clue to us that to help personalize the programs, we had to have some kind of assessment where they could both answer questions and we could give them some feedback. And so that was kind of the foundation of where we started with Prepare. And from there, we started then looking at what were the most effective kinds of items and questions we could ask, but then what's the best way to present the information, and what are also exercises we could do to help couples not only increase their awareness, but kind of build relationship skills. So all of that happened about 30 years ago, and what you've seen in the history of our program over time is that we've continued to build on those 10 core areas, but expand them and to also expand the exercises for couples so that now we have a much more efficient and effective program for both premarital couples, but also married couples. And now in our last step is to move that to the public, where not only is it something you can offer as a facilitator, but with a couple checkup, a couple can do it on their own and be able to use it in a way to build and strengthen their relationship over